Welcome to 11 Exhales Yoga Teacher Academy. My name is Julianne Arce, and I am excited to be spending this time with you. I want to make sure you're in the right place. I will know that you're in the right place, and you'll know if you're in the right place if you meet these criteria. Maybe you meet one of them, maybe you meet all of them. Let's go ahead and go through them to see if you fall into one of these categories or all of these categories, so we know that this is for you. If you are a yogi and you're working on building your best practice, you're working on creating space within your body, your mind, and your soul, then I want you to know that this is for you. If yoga has positively changed your life and you want to share the power of yoga with others, then this is for you. I'm here for you. Yoga has positively impacted my life. There was a time that I had anxiety so bad that I felt like I was one missed yoga class away from having a nervous breakdown. Being able to practice yoga and being able to have a yoga lifestyle has helped me to find center. If you feel that yoga has changed your life in some way and you want to share that power with others, this is for you. If you feel you have plateaued in life and you feel like something is missing, I want you to stay on here. There was a time in my life where I thought I had everything together. I did all the textbook perfect stuff. I had the house on the golf course, the Cadillac in the driveway, my two wonderful kids, but something was missing deep inside. If you're feeling that voidness, if you're feeling like something is still missing, I want you to stay right here with me. If you see yourself contributing to the world more than you are currently doing, stay right here. When I first started teaching yoga, I thought it was just a hobby. I never imagined that this would be a career. What kept me going to the classes and kept me teaching was seeing how it positively impacted my students. You see, I had this one student, her name was Maru, and I still think of Maru quite often. Maru wanted more than anything to go to her brother's wedding, but she needed to lose some weight before she could go to her brother's wedding. And the only exercise that she wanted to do was come to yoga. See, going to yoga was making it or breaking it, whether she could attend her brother's wedding because she couldn't fit into the airplane seat. That is terrible. And so she would come into yoga consistently, day in, day out, trying to make a positive impact so she could go into her brother's wedding. Long story short, she went to her brother's wedding, and it brings me joy still to this day to know that I'm contributing to the world more than I was in my 9-to-5 job. So Alicia was one of my students, and Alicia says that this was the best 2 weeks of her life. Alicia came to one of our live yoga teacher trainings in California. She also says that not only did I become a yoga teacher who feels completely confident with the skills I learned at 11 Exhale, but I'm a better human being than I was before. I couldn't more highly recommend this program. Julianne and Raphael are the best. What makes me happy about this is yoga is not just about the flexibility. It's also about getting confidence, feeling confidence within your life. It's not about touching your toes. It's about becoming a better human, becoming your optimal self. What I'm going to cover during this time together is how a global pandemic, this pandemic that we're in right now, has changed yoga certification. This, in short, it's changed a 5,000-year-old tradition. What to look for in a yoga teacher training certification and the number one mistakes to avoid. You see, I've been doing yoga teacher trainings for 5 years, and I've graduated over 500 yoga students to date. And I want to go through some of the mistakes to avoid when you're looking for a yoga teacher training certification. I also want to go over our 3L method. Our 3L method, in short, is learn it, live it, and lead it. So like I said, we've been doing yoga teacher trainings for 5 years. We have students in 15 different countries. We have 500 plus graduates, and I've personally trained students for over 5,000 hours. I like to say that I eat, breathe, and sleep yoga teacher training, serving my students and helping them to fulfill their mission, to make a positive impact, the ripple effect within their own communities, within their own families. So this is about me. You'll see a few pictures here from me. I am a yoga mom. I have a few kiddos. This is my youngest, my little baby boy, Raphael III. You can see that I was on KEPR News. I'm also a veteran. I served in the U.S. Navy. for 4 years. It seems like a lifetime ago, but that was part of my life, was serving in the US Navy. I've had multiple yoga studios. I have a current studio in Dana Point, California, right outside of Laguna Beach in Orange County and the Lantern District. The picture you'll see here was one of the studios that we had in Washington. I began my yoga journey, my yoga career in Washington State before moving to California with the love of my life, who I want to introduce you to next. This is Raphael, the second, and he is my husband, my business partner. And when you join this journey with me on yoga teacher training, Raphael will be right here supporting you goddesses as well. He is a warrior committed to supporting women on their journey. How he does that is he teaches you how to make a career out of teaching yoga, how to make a career out of your passion. How amazing is that? Yoga doesn't need to be your part-time gig. It does not need to be something that you do on a side. If you are able to follow your passion and follow your dream and still make a good income, why wouldn't you? You can see here again my little Raphael III. That was his first birthday. We did a big fiesta there. He is just so cute. So when I'm not doing yoga, I am spending time with Raphael, my other kiddos, and Raphael II. All right. I want to go into how this pandemic has changed yoga certification. So it wasn't too long ago, actually last month, that in order to get certified with Yoga Alliance, you had to do person-to-person training. For a 200-hour certification, you needed to do person-to-person training with a qualified teacher. A qualified teacher is somebody that has taught thousands of hours, also has their own yoga certification. And now that this global pandemic has happened, for the first time ever, Yoga Alliance has allowed for schools to open up their training through a virtual model. That virtual model includes doing webinars, it includes doing training videos, it also includes you going through practices. I can't believe how this pandemic has changed a 5,000-year-old tradition. This is the first time that it's recognized for people to get online and be able to get certified. So once again, what I want to go over why that matters. I've been wanting to have virtual certifications for some time because I remember what it was like when I had to get yoga certified training. I was in law school the first time a teacher had asked me to teach, and I was going to classes regularly because it was what held my everyday together. It held my heart in the right place. It just kept life going the way that it should. And so while I was going to law school, I would regularly, pretty much daily, go into my hot yoga class. And at the end of one of my classes, my teacher had asked me if I wanted to teach yoga there. I laughed at her at that point in time because my schedule was so hectic, and I also felt like I wasn't zen enough to be a yoga teacher, that yoga teachers had their lives together, they're super zen, and they sit around and drink green tea and listen to chanting all day long. I did not fit that description. It was sometime later that I actually decided to get my yoga certification after, yet again, I was asked at the end of a yoga class if I ever thought about being certified. The gym that I was teaching or practicing at had offered for me to go to yoga teacher training and begin teaching at their studio. I did it because I wanted to make a positive impact on other people's lives. What I had to do to get certified was leave my two girls, my little girls, they were in preschool, in kindergarten at the time. I had to leave them Friday morning at 4 a.m., go to training on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, come back late on Sunday night, work for 4 days, and then see them a little bit in the weekend. This went on for several months. It was pretty horrific. Not only that did it go on for several months, I got snowed in Seattle twice. You see, I lived in Eastern Washington, and I had to travel 4 hours to Seattle to get my certification. And if you've ever driven through Snoqualmie Pass in the wintertime, you know that that pass gets closed. I was snowed in there 2 times, 10 days each, time away from my girls, and also so much money spent on hotel rooms. But what Yoga Alliance has done is they have given a temporary provision for the contact hours until June 30th. This is not going to last forever. So if you're a mom, you don't want to take time away from your kids, you don't have the luxury, the option to take time away from your kids, your work, this is your window of opportunity. Who knows if this is going to happen again? We don't know. I do not want you to have to go through the heartaches and struggles and also the financial burden that I went through just to get certified to teach yoga. I know if you're like me, you're doing it because it's your passion, it's your love. So what you don't have to pay for is pay for travel and layovers. You don't have to have mom guilt. You don't have to pay for hotels, and you don't have to pay for food. These are the things that I had to pay for, the things that I had to go through when I got my certification. I had to pay for travel 4 hours each way. I got snowed in. I had massive mom guilt for months because I was leaving my 2 girls. Also, hotels, unexpected hotel expenses for being snowed in. And then food on top of it, eating out. So if you're getting certified at home, you do not have to fork out those extra expenses that you may not even be expecting. So you can get certified virtually. You can do it at your own pace, no rush at all. A lot of times people will go to a yoga teacher training retreat where they spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, sometimes even longer, where they eat, breathe, and sleep yoga. But with the virtual certification, you're able to do it at your own pace. That means if you're still balancing out responsibilities in life, whether that's your kids, your husband, or your work, you can still do it all and not feel the pressure that I felt. If I had to do it all over again, I would do virtual certification. If I had this opportunity, I would hands down do it online and still have time with my husband, be able to eat dinners with my family, and not have the mom guilt or that extra expense. Now, I'm not saying that 11 Exhales yoga teacher training is for everybody. It's not for everybody. So if we're not for you, that's totally fine. I want to go through some mistakes to avoid if you are looking at multiple yoga teacher certifications. So the number one thing that I want you to look for is to make sure that the school is registered with Yoga Alliance. If the school is not registered with Yoga Alliance, I would be very, very leery. The reason for that is when you go and you apply to teach at your local gym or you want to teach at your local studio, they're going to make sure that you're registered with Yoga Alliance. They're going to call me or call the school and verify that you're registered with Yoga Alliance. So one thing that you want to do is make sure that the school is registered with Yoga Alliance. I receive calls on a regular basis from potential landlords checking to make sure that past students are in fact certified with 11 Exhale before giving them a lease to open up a studio. So having a Yoga Alliance registered school when you get certified is important. That's my number one tip for you, is to make sure that the school is registered with Yoga Alliance. Do they have verifiable reviews? I know that we're in the age of Instagram and so many people have beautiful yoga pictures. That doesn't mean that they're able to teach, and it also does not mean that they're able to teach others to lead the practice of yoga, to lead the yoga lifestyle. So when you go and you look and see, make sure that that school has verifiable reviews. Not 1, not 2 reviews, but they have a significant amount of reviews. And as you can see here, we have more reviews than a Chopra Center. Chopra Center has been around for 15 years, and they have 94 reviews. Our 11 Exhale Yoga Academy, we're our 5th year in, we have 119 reviews, and that number may be a little bit higher at this point in time. Not everybody that comes to yoga teacher training decides to get registered with Yoga Alliance. Some people decide to come to yoga teacher training to improve their own practice, to have their own small yoga in the park or teaching virtually. That'll be a decision up to you if you register with Yoga Alliance, but you want to make sure that the school that you choose is a Yoga Alliance registered school, so that when you go and want to teach at a studio or you want to open your own studio, that you have invested in the right place to be able to do that. Also, make sure that the lead instructor, that school has actually owned and managed a yoga studio. It's heartbreaking to me. It's very, very sad to me when I see people trying to guide others on a path they have not walked on their own. When they have not walked that path, how on earth are they going to teach you to go down that path, maneuver down that path, avoid the pitfalls? This is my second studio in Richland, Washington. I had 2 studios simultaneously, 11 Exhale Kennewick and 11 Exhale Richland. And so I've already managed studios. I've had multiple instructors, led yoga teacher trainings worldwide. I also currently have my studio in Dana Point, California. So that's the one thing that I want you to look at, is make sure that they don't just have beautiful Instagram pictures, but they've also lived and have been abundant in their teaching career. Are they teaching you at least 3 yoga traditions? I want you to make sure that you're learning at least 3 yoga traditions. Why? You want to be a multi-dimensional yoga teacher. You do not want to be a one-dimensional yoga teacher. I've had multiple students come to me to get recertified because they learned one tradition. And when they learned that one tradition, they basically learned how to memorize one single script, and that's all they can teach. And then the corporate yoga decides to take that one class off the schedule, and then they can't teach it anymore. So you want to make sure you're learning 3 different yoga traditions. The yoga traditions you'll learn at 11 Exhale include Yin, Vinyasa, and also Hatha. Another reason to learn different traditions is because not every tradition is going to resonate and be right for every student. What I'm going to teach my mother-in-law who has arthritis is going to be very, very different than what I'm going to teach my best friend in her 20s. So be sure to be a multi-dimensional yoga teacher, in that you're not just learning how to parrot from a script when you go and start teaching yoga. So that is a huge mistake, is if you're going to a yoga teacher training, they're handing you a script and expecting you to memorize that to be able to teach. That does not make you a yoga teacher. That makes you a parrot. So that is another mistake to avoid. Are you going to know how to theme classes? Are you going to know how to find your own voice and teach the classes with confidence? If you're memorizing a script, that's not exuding confidence. That's not guiding other people. That is playing Simon Says, basically. So what we've covered so far is how this pandemic, how this yoga tradition has changed because of this global pandemic. We've also covered what you should look for in a yoga teacher training certification and the number 1 mistakes to avoid. I want to go through the Learn It, Live It, Teach It method at 11 Exhale. So this is our 3L method. If you're considering any yoga teacher training, make sure that they have the 3L method in place, that you're not just learning some esoteric knowledge, book knowledge that you cannot go and implement into your life. I want you to be able to learn it. That's our phase 1, being able to learn the book knowledge, where you learn what the benefits of the pose are, when you learn how to structure a class, and also the philosophy and the anatomy. The second phase of 11 Exhale is to live it. Once we learn the different philosophies within our yoga practice, we learn the Sanskrit names, we learn the benefits to the body, I want you to be able to live those into your life. And what does that mean? It means deepening your practice. It means beginning a breathing practice, activating pranayama within your life. Also, being able to find more flexibility, creating more space within your own body. Also, living the 8 limbs. If you haven't heard of what the 8 limbs are, don't worry. When we dive deeper into our Yoga Teacher Training Academy, you'll know all that you need to know about the 8 limbs of yoga and the yoga lifestyle, but not just book knowledge. I want you to be able to integrate that into your life and live the yoga lifestyle. Phase 3 is lead it. So once you've gone through learning, you begin to live your yoga. The next phase is to be able to lead others. Being able to lead others through asana is one thing, but also I want you to be able to be a positive impact within your community, within your family. That's what leaders do. That's what goddesses do. I know that if you're still listening, you're still here. That's you. I know I'm speaking to you if you're still here. You want to be a leader. You want to lead with confidence, not just asana, not just the physical yoga practice, but also the yoga lifestyle. Within this training, within the phase 3 of yoga teacher training with 11 Exhale, you'll be able to find your voice, you'll be able to teach others, you can teach at a gym, you can open your own studio, but most importantly, you'll be a positive influence on your family and your community. These are the milestones with 11 Exhales Academy. First, you'll go through technique, training, and practice. Asana is your physical yoga practice, activating pranayama and also meditation. We'll go through extensive anatomy. You'll have 30 hours of anatomy within our Yoga Alliance training, or Yoga Humanities. When we cover Yoga Humanities, we'll cover the history, the philosophy, and also yoga ethics. We can do all the asana and all the cool headstands that we want to on our mats, but if we're not carrying that over into our life, then what is the point? We also want you to be able to make this a professional career if you so decide. If you are looking to let go of the soul-sucking work that you're currently doing and live more in alignment, following your heart, following your bliss, following your passion, then I want you to stay here. We'll teach you in our Masterclass 3.0 how you can make yoga a full-time career. It doesn't need to be a side hobby. It doesn't need to be something that is an anti-income. For your final exam, you'll go through some written finals, a quiz, and also verbal finals. That's the milestones. You'll be learning techniques, training, practice, anatomy and physiology, yoga humanities, professional essentials, and also be going through a final exam. So what we've covered so far during our time together is how this pandemic has changed yoga certification, what to look for in a yoga teacher training certification, and the number one mistakes to avoid. We've also gone through the 3L method, the learn it, the live it, and the lead it. Now you have a choice. We all have choices. The choices that we make today will dramatically impact what happens in a week from now, a month from now, and beyond. We have a choice during this global pandemic, during this time that we're quarantined, to sit at home, to sit with fear, to want to crawl in a hole and just ignore the outside world, sedate on Netflix, sedate with vodka or tequila or the ganja. But you also have a choice to make yourself better, to stand into your own power, to stay connected to divine. If you're sedated, there's no way that you can lead. You can be a positive impact on yourself and your family. What that means is that you have the choice to either wallow in this global pandemic, to wallow in the fear, or you have a choice to use this time when the world has given you a beautiful time out to grow and to learn and to become closer to your higher self. So Yoga Alliance has allowed for 11 Exhale to open up our Yoga Academy virtually. That means that you can come to 11 Exhale and receive your certification, register with Yoga Alliance, and go through the training virtually. Now, this is the first time ever Yoga Alliance has allowed us to do this. Nobody will know that your certification is online. I know that sometimes people are worried about the stigma of online learning. I personally think that online learning is beautiful. When you go to a live event, your retention rate for information is about 10%. What's beautiful about online learning is that when you forget something, you can go back to that section. You can go back to that knowledge. You can replay that video and then learn it and engrave it deeper into your being, deeper into your core. As you evolve, you can go back and relearn something at another level. If you pay for a live teacher training, which I'm not knocking live teacher trainings, they have been game changers for so many individuals that have came to train with me. But you need to be able to go back and learn and relearn something because you're ever evolving, you're ever expanding. And with our online yoga teacher training, you're able to do that. So get on board. This is what Hannah says. Hannah says, 11 Exhale changed my whole outlook on life. The readings, the guidance, the consistent support, and everything in between was more than the teacher training experience I had ever expected. I felt prepared to take on teaching yoga after the course and truly felt like I was at home during my time studying in California. Beyond that, 11 Exhale facilitated self-reflection opportunities, gave honest feedback advice, how to move forward in the yoga world, introduced new ways of meditating, and ultimately offered an unforgettable adventure. I'm so happy that I learned to live the yoga lifestyle in addition to becoming a yoga teacher. It brings me great joy to know that Hannah is in her community teaching during this time of the pandemic, that she is out there doing good within the world, and that she is teaching students, and that ripple effect is changing her community. I'm going to cover everything that you'll get within the virtual training with 11 Exhale. The virtual training is hosted inside a beautiful online classroom. Within this online classroom, you'll receive weekly releases and be able to watch those trainings whenever you want, whether that's when your kids are asleep at 6 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night. Maybe if you're working late nights, you can watch the training during the day. It's on demand. That means it's available to you whenever you need it. You don't need to wait for me to show up. You don't need to wait for me. You're able to watch those trainings, watch the on-demand releases at your own convenience. You'll also receive a digital teacher training manual. People learn different ways. So if you're somebody that is kinesthetic learner, you'll learn by going through the practice, which we will teach you ways to do that. If you're somebody that learns by listening, we have tools for you to do that. If you're somebody that learns by reading, you'll also receive the digital teacher training manual that will go through everything that you need to be able to begin to learn it, live it, and lead it. We cover 3 traditions: Vinyasa, Yin, and Hatha. When you're looking at yoga schools, make sure that you will complete the program as a multi-dimensional teacher, as you will with 11 Exhale. We also have private training and accountability groups. These accountability groups are kept to about 12 students so that you have that intimate relationship with the other students within your pod, within your tribe. You'll also receive a Fast Start Yoga Teacher Training Action Guide. This will go through everything that you need to do between now and getting registered with Yoga Alliance. You'll also receive a certification of completion. When you complete your 200 hours, when you complete the training, you will be able to receive your certification so that you too can also be a Yoga Alliance certified teacher. You'll receive your RYS 200. I want this training to dramatically change your life. It is 11 Exhale's mission to use this opportunity to impact people in a positive way. And so I sat with Raphael, my business partner, my life partner, and said, how can we change these women's lives? How can we change their lives during this time when there's so much fear, there's so much uncertainty? And these are the things that we put together for you. The first one is the Yoga Business Masterclass. We know that so many women, so many breadwinners across America have lost their jobs due to the global pandemic, due to unemployment, jobs being laid off. There's so many yoga teachers right now that are teaching online and making a significant income. They're still able to provide for their families. So whether you plan on teaching online, open your own studio, or teach in a local gym or studio when time permits, when the ban is lifted, Masterclass 3.0 will go through how you can begin to make yoga not just your hobby, but how you can make it a career as well. So you will be getting the Masterclass 3.0. That's the first way that we felt that we could positively impact your life outside of the base 200-hour yoga teacher training. So this is what Katie had said about Raphael. She says, I just want to say thank you. The Masterclass 3.0 training is blowing my mind. I've literally had inquiries and people following up with me all day. Tonight's classes are booked out, and it's like I've got a magnet on my forehead because the people just keep coming from everywhere. So thank you. I'm pretty sure this course is almost already paid for itself, and it's early days yet. So Katie was enrolled in Raphael's Masterclass. $2,000 is what that Masterclass is previously sold for, and she was able to implement and start bringing more students into her studio. And she says right here that it's early days and it's almost already paid for itself. So if you're serious about being able to make yoga a full-time career, move beyond having it just a hobby, then we have offered the bonus of Masterclass 3.0. The second bonus that we have included in this yoga teacher training in this 200-hour Yoga Alliance certification is Reiki. Reiki is not yoga, and they don't even really go together in so many ways, but yet they do. When you can integrate yoga into your class, it's just another level of being able to be of service. And right now, as we're in this global pandemic, the world needs healing. Our environment needs healing, people need healing. And so through your yoga teacher training, the second bonus that I want to offer you is to attune you to Reiki Level 1, give you the Reiki Level 1 symbols, teach you about the history of Reiki, the intentions and the ethics, and how to begin to perform Reiki sessions for healing, for abundance, and to help with past traumas and healing and recovery. The third bonus. This one is near and dear to my heart. I know that so many women right now are paralyzed in fear. I don't want you to be paralyzed in fear. I want you to be strong for yourself. I want you to be strong for your family. I want you to be strong for your community. And one of the ways that I have been able to step into my higher self is through goddess activation. I want to take you through the goddess activation of Lakshmi, Kali, and also Saraswati. If you're not sure who those goddesses are, you will learn very, very soon. They are powerful, powerful goddesses. And I want you to experience that so you can be able to step into this new you, into this higher you with more abundance and more confidence. I also want you to be able to lead women's circles. This can be done virtually. It can also be done in person. Part of our live experience at yoga teacher training is circle time. And during these circle times, so much healing happens that we break down barriers that are holding us back. We break through cycles that are not allowing us to become our best selves. And we break through insecurities through guiding these circles, through leading these circles together. I also want to take you through how to put together a cacao ceremony. And so I will be giving you my cacao ceremony blueprint so that you can begin to offer cacao ceremonies, whether that's virtual or live. I'll also teach you how to host new moon ceremonies. New moon ceremonies are so powerful at creating intentions and having those intentions manifest into reality. So the last bonus I have here is inner confidence. I know that during this time, we all need confidence. Confidence to go after our dreams, confidence to move forward in life, that not letting this time that we're in paralyze us with fear. How to go through life in this new way of like a lack of freedom and being confined. But really, if we can tap into our inner confidence, we can activate the goddess within us, then we can transcend that. So that is bonus number 3, the Ascension Masterclass. This is what Ag said. Ag is an amazing woman, an amazing student. She hosts retreats. She currently has been hosting retreats for the last couple of years. She graduated in June of 2018 with us. I love following her and just seeing what she's up to. But she says this training course provided by 11 Exhale was one of the best experiences of my life. Julianne and Raphael has prepared us for delivering safe and rewarding yoga sessions. The course contained a lot of important information on anatomy, alignment, various yoga traditions, chakras, and they also arranged some wonderful extra programs for us. So working with Ag was just wonderful, and it brings joy to my heart to see that she's out there offering her service and leading retreats. Typically, our bonus of the Ascension Masterclass is $2,000, but we're including that for free within your yoga teacher training 200-hour. This is additional on top of your 200-hour certification that you'll be receiving. So you're probably wondering how much this costs. You see the bonus of $2,000 for Ascension Masterclass. You saw the Reiki Masterclass for $1,000, and you also saw the bonus number 1 of Yoga Business Masterclass for $2,000. I'm sure your head's spinning thinking, oh my goodness, how much is this going to be? Well, 11 Exhale has a mission, like I told you at the beginning. Our mission is to make an impact, to make a positive impact Through a ripple effect, we want you to go out and change your inner being. We want you to be a positive impact on your family, on your community, and that just raises the vibration of communities around the entire world. So for 11 Exhales online virtual yoga teacher training, we're offering this to students for only $1,588. Our live trainings are typically $3,088. That doesn't include your travel. It does not include food. So $1,588 is the price for our online virtual yoga teacher training that you can do at your own pace. You can do it at home. We do have payment plans available for you. If you want to set up a payment plan, no problem whatsoever. You'll be able to set up 3 payments of $600 and still be able to register with Yoga Alliance upon completion of your 200-hour teacher training and upon completion of your payments. So I'm excited that you stayed on till the end. I hope that I will see you on the inside. I'll see you within Inner Circle, being able to lead you and guide you within the tribe, within this powerful group of women so that you can begin to build your best practice. You can be able to live the yoga lifestyle, making your practice, yes, we want your practice to be wonderful. We want your practice to be all that it can be, but we also want you to live the yoga lifestyle. And we want you to do that with support of other goddesses, with support of the tribe. And then we want you to be able to lead others. We want you to answer that call that you heard in your heart. We want you to answer the call to be on this journey. If you are still here, I want you to listen to it. I want you to listen to it. We all have choices in life. Your choice is 1, sedate, stay where you're at. Your second choice is to take this opportunity of the world being on timeout to grow, to go deep within and be able to master your fears, to overcome your fears, to step into your higher self, and to be able to show up in your community as a different person, to show up in your family as a different person, and show up to yourself, because I want you to not feel the dread anymore. I want you to transcend that, to ascend it, and be able to step into who you know you are. Go ahead and choose one of the payment options. If you need to have another option available to you, send me a private message. I want everyone that's heard the calling to become a certified teacher, to answer that calling. Everyone that's heard the calling to live a better life, to step into their higher self, to be able to do that. So go ahead and send me a message if you need to. Otherwise, pick your option before, and I'll see you on the inside of this course. Namaste, sweet friends.